Chapter 2 offers some competing views. You will learn about several assimilation theories and subprocesses, as well as three ideologies of assimilation, and two anti-assimilation ideologies are presented in this chapter. Assimilation theories are generally referred to as consensus or order theories. Park's theory of cycle of race relations and Gordon's theory of assimilation subprocesses in general are consistent with the idea there is an increase in consensus with values and norms when there are less differences between ethnicities. Involuntary inclusion is likely to be accompanied by more conflict than voluntary. An example of this would be the slaves being brought involuntary and in contact in the same area for 3 or more generations results in high levels of tension is a good example of conflict theory. This chapter takes a further look at Gordon's theory of assimilation subprocesses. A little bit of history as expansion and domination happened in the Western Hemisphere. Whites established their culture, their institutions, and themselves as the natives. Hence, the newcomers were foreigners and not welcomed. English was the accepted language, and foreigners were expected to learn and use it. In the next slide, you will see the sub-processes of assimilation that Gordon proposed. Take a look at pages 23 to 27, where you will find detailed descriptions on Gordon's sub-processes. You'll see the cultural assimilation by substitution, the primary structural assimilation, the secondary structural assimilation, marital assimilation, identificational assimilation. You'll find a definition for prejudice and discrimination, attitude receptional assimilation, civic assimilation, and segmented assimilation. In theory, these sub-processes take place in varying degrees. Cultural assimilation by substitution should proceed more rapidly than secondary assimilation. Full merger is not inevitable. Once the minority group enters clubs, cliques, and institutions of the core society at the primary group level, marital assimilation will follow. Eventually, the descendants of the original minority group become indistinguishable from the majority group. Finally, if a person is American, would they fit the pattern of life, the standards of behavior, and racial types that Anglo-Americans preferred? This ideology is the Anglo-conformity ideology and occurs by substitution of the majority group's culture for the native culture rather than by the addition of the former. On page 30, you'll find figure 2.1 that depicts the melting pot ideology, an individual that has blended with the culture and society of the host group to produce a new and different culture and society. In other words, melt. So the new society reflects the influences of the groups that formed it. The ideology of cultural pluralism is based on the idea that minority groups should be able to keep their own heritage and also participate in America's major institutions simultaneously. I like to think of it as the salad bowl, and every group brings its own flavors. There are two anti-assimilationist ideologies: separatism and secessionism. A pluralist suggests that there should be a separation of minority groups' relations in all aspects of the culture, the public institutions, and social lives from the dominant group. Secessionism here occurred in the United States back in 1861 when the South withdrew from the United States. Another example was the break of the Soviet Union over 20 years ago. The most extreme anti-assimilationist view is secessionism. For the secessionists, they even advocate violence. The models presented in this chapter help us to specify both. One, what the members of any group individually or collectively want, and two, how near to or far from these goals any individual or group actually is. The theories of assimilation are efforts to explain how assimilation occurs and to forecast the probable future of intergroup relations in America. Again, I leave you with a question to ponder. What do we mean today when we say that someone is a real American? We take a look at the lives of Americans. You see a mom and a dad, children, and what comprises this real American? Something to think about.